Welcome back to my channel. It's Canadian Retro. I've got a video here I'm putting together to show the PlayStation 1 collection that I have so far. Right now I've got quite a number of games in the collection, but I haven't even had a chance to count them yet. So again, the purpose of this video is to show you what I have already, see what you think of it, but also to kind of keep track of my collection for myself, like a sort of video logging of the games that I have already. Now there's a number of titles in here that I'm definitely missing. I don't have a whole lot in the way of RPGs, which is what the PlayStation 1 is most notable for. I just haven't really been finding a whole ton of them out there. Now I do have a couple, of course, and of course I'll be showing you those. The way I'll start with this though is I'll show my loose games that I have. I have a few, actually sort of my own fault from back in the day. I believe I must have chucked out the cases. I did find my original games that I had a while back, but I can't find the cases anywhere, so either they're in a pile somewhere or they're gone completely. I'm not totally certain about that, but otherwise most of my games are actually complete or mostly complete. So without further ado, let's get started. The PlayStation 1 is one of those consoles that I have a lot of fond memories about. It was the one that I played for the most part during university, so back in the day I had quite a lot of experience with this console, played it quite a bit, rented a lot of games back then. So the first one here though that I have loose is a copy of Mortal Kombat 4. You can see I just keep it in one of these like giant PC type cases just because for lack of space and things like that. I've got a copy of Bushido Blade 2. These were all thrift store finds. These first ones here, same with this Spyro game here, Ripto's Rage. Also Crash Bandicoot Warped. Pretty cool right there. Most of these discs are in decent shape. An original copy from my original collection of Final Fantasy Tactics, which I do also have complete as well, just because I had ended up having two copies of that game. Tetris Plus. I played a lot of Tetris Plus back in the day. I really enjoyed this version of Tetris. Actually, kind of missing that I don't have the manual for it, or the case and the manual for it. Mech Warrior 2. I know Mech Warrior games are up people's alley. They're not really up mine. I think this one kind of came with other things that I got back in the day, but still, you know, part of the collection. Then a copy of Destruction Derby, which I also played a little bit back in the day. I didn't really like it as much as other people. I found the graphics even back then just hard to manage, sort of thing. The next game was Micro Machines V3. I love Micro Machine games. I liked them ever since the NES version that I had, and when I got my PlayStation 1 and I found out that this game was on it, I immediately sort of got it in my collection, and unfortunately I don't have the case for this one. A game that I really liked on PC a lot, so I ended up buying it for my PlayStation as well. It's much better on the PC though. It was Crusader No Remorse. If you've never played this game, you should check out some gameplay footage of it. It's pretty cool. NHL Face-Off 98. I think this was one of the first games that I also bought as well for my system. Alright, so this is going to be in no particular order here, just whatever I've kind of got. So the first one is my PlayStation demo disc from Walmart. The reason why I picked this up, I picked up a while ago, it has Medieval 2 on it, Legend of Dragoon as a demo, and you know, that kind of thing. So I thought I would pick this up. I think I also picked this up because I didn't have Ripto's Rage at the time, so it was pretty cool. I think I only paid like probably $1 or something for it, so you know, no big deal. No Fear Downhill Mountain Bike Racing. I have no experience with this. It is a Codemasters game. I bet you it's pretty good as far as a PlayStation game goes, though. I'm sure it's pretty fun. The game that I see the most of out there, Gran Turismo 2. I also see Gran Turismo quite a bit out in the wild, so there's that one there. Loved those games back in the day. Siphon Filter 3, I was a big fan of Siphon Filter. These games haven't held up very well graphic wise though, so more of a nostalgia thing there. Fade to Black, I got this as part of a lot that I picked up from someone. I never played this before, so I'm gonna have to check this one out when I get a second to actually play something. Another game which kind of eluded me back in the day. My brother was a huge fan of Metal Gear Solid, and I mean, I played Metal Gear Solid VR missions, but for some reason I couldn't find a copy of this for a decent price back then. Another game, You Don't Know Jack. Loved this game, so much fun. I've got it in a really strange case though here, just because there's a 2-disc kind of situation, but really great game. Resident Evil Director's Cut. Don't really have to say a whole lot about that. You probably know that. I got that in the lot with Fade to Black as well. Final Fantasy VIII. Pretty awesome right there. Great condition as well. Of course, Final Fantasy VII. Classic of this is the greatest hits edition, but I've mentioned it before. I'm not, it doesn't bother me if it's greatest hits that much. I would, it is nice though to have it totally black label. This one unfortunately is not. Fear Effect 2, Retro Helix, pretty cool right there. Game I really liked back in the day was the original Driver. I didn't have a whole lot of experience with Driver 2 yet, but I have played it a little bit. Another copy of Driver 2. Ridge Racer Type 4, but I believe this one here might be incomplete. Yeah, it's missing one of the discs that goes in there, but pretty cool right there. Resident Evil 2, obviously a classic. Siphon Filter 2, again, greatest hits edition. I think this also came in that lot that I picked up. Fear Effect. Star Wars Jedi Power Battles. I'm trying to remember which one it was. I remember it was an Episode 1 game. I think it might have been this one that I put quite a few hours into it. I'm trying to remember because I think there's different ones, but I did enjoy that game. Blood Omen Legacy of Kain. Pretty cool right there. Crash Bandicoot 2. Cortex Strikes Back. Pretty awesome condition as well. A game I have actually an extra copy of, which is going to be part of my trade pile, is Blasto. And except for the other one that I have, the manual is only the front part of the manual, but otherwise the game's there. Resident Evil 3, Nemesis, gotta have all the Resident Evil type games, of course. A game I think that is undervalued, but rather enjoyable, X-Men Mutant Academy. I logged a lot of hours into this too. It's fun unlocking like the different outfits and stuff for them. Atari Anniversary Collection, of course any of these kind of retro collections are always fun. Frogger 2, Swampy's Revenge. This has the same affliction as the other copy of Blasto. I got them both together, and they're just the cover of the manual, not the actual manual in there, but pretty cool nonetheless. And of course the original Frogger. This is the one that I put a lot of hours into back in the day. Asteroids. This is sort of going into like the retro type of stuff, like the remakes. Haven't had a chance to put that one in. This one's not very valuable, but it looks like an interesting game. Hubert. Really fun game actually on the PlayStation 1. What I like about these retro remake games is they're still really playable and they're a lot of fun because the graphics aren't overly 3D-ish. So, because when they sort of went over the top with the 3D kind of stuff, the quality of the graphics really suffered a lot. So these ones tend to hold up a bit better. The Centipede, also retro remake type of thing. Also a very fun game. This one here, Blaster Master. I've heard mixed reviews on this, but obviously based on the original game. Unjammer Lammy. Unfortunately, this one's manual is a little bit beat up, but the disc is pretty decent, so that's really what matters the most. Really wanted to get my hands on the first one of this, the Parappa the Rapper, but never got a chance to. I did pick up the, if you know my videos from like way back, I did pick up the case for it, but it was empty. Someone had stolen it out of there, which is such a bummer because it would have been a wicked find. Still good to get the case though. Tekken 3, played this a ton too. Friend of mine, university, got me onto this. Now this one here is just the front manual. I'm missing the actual artwork in the back. Tekken 2, obviously another classic that needs to be had. Underrated gem here, Wild 9. Torture your enemies. Really fun platformer type of thing. You kind of grab your enemies with this bolt of lightning kind of thing. You bash them around all over the place. Pretty fun. Game I know nothing about. Creatures. Probably will never play this. Love this series, the Strike series, Soviet Strike, Jungle Strike, all those kind of ones. This is the PlayStation Soviet Strike. Pretty awesome. Final Fantasy 9. Again, a classic, of course. Game Day 99. I just picked this up the other day. Nothing much to say about that. The next one is Need for Speed V-Rally, NFL Blitz 2001, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire 2nd edition, A Bug's Life, don't know a lot about that one. You Don't Know Jack Mock 2, not quite as interesting as the first one. I think the announcer in the first one's better. Mega Boost, this is an underrated gem. I've mentioned this before in other videos. This is a game that's really held up well too graphically. Jet Moto 2, obviously a classic. Knockout Kings 2001, probably will never go in the system, probably never use that one. Spec Ops Stealth Patrol. You know, these games don't really hold up too well compared to newer style ones, these shooters on the system, but that's the way it is. Maximum Force, Pull the Trigger. I'll have to check this out, don't know a whole lot about it. This one here is sealed, actually it's Shooter Starfighter San Vane. Pretty cool actually. I've seen like reviews on this, really underrated. I think it was a budget title when it came out. All these A1 games really were, so I don't think it's really like had any value, or people don't hold it in high regard, but it's actually a pretty fun little game. I'll never know because I'm not going to unwrap it, but Colin McRae Rally 2.0. I think this one here, for some reason, is a more valuable game for the PlayStation as far as car racing type games. Like most of them aren't really worth that much, but this one seems to be the collector's edition version of Grand Theft Auto, but this I don't have the rest of the collection, just this one disc. Got that online. Really wanted to get that in my hands. Eagle 1 Harrier Attack. You know, plane type game. WCW NWO Thunder. Escape or Die Trying. Haven't really checked this out before. Not really a valuable game though. Hexen, obviously another classic. more so I think on the PC, but Fighting Force, pretty cool, kind of a fun game. Vigilante 8. This one here actually I think is the, yeah, this is Vigilante 8 too. It just happens to be in Vigilante 8 case because I don't actually have Vigilante 8. So it's a loose game that I just put in that thing. Overblood, sci-fi adventure. Looks kind of interesting. Haven't checked it out though before. 007, The World's Not Enough. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Mech Warrior 2. Complete. Test Drive 5. Monopoly. Not in the original case though. Kind of beat up actually, but I think the game's fine. Magic the Gathering Battle Mage. I remember playing this. This was pretty fun. I feel like the Magic games, I used to play that when I was a kid. So, WWF Attitude. Final Fantasy Chronicles, which has Chrono Trigger. You can see there in Final Fantasy. What's that, 4? Pretty cool. Haven't had a chance to pop this one in yet. Looking forward to it. NHL 2000, NHL 2001, NHL 99, RC Stunt Copter. Pretty cool little game actually. MTV Skateboarding. Gran Turismo, one of the more common games I see out there. Populous, I think this is a fairly uncommon game. I'm not really certain about that though. One of my better finds out in the wild, Harvest Moon, Back to Nature. Pretty surprised to get my hands on this in a thrift shop. Along the same lines, this was one of the ones that people commented on a lot too. I found this also in a thrift shop for like a few bucks, which is really great. Which is Breath of Fire. Ball Breakers. I don't know much about that one, to tell you the truth. WWF Warzone. Game I was happy to complete because I loved this one back in the day. It was Cool Borders 3. One I did play back in the day, but I wasn't as interested in this one as Cool Borders 3 as Cool Borders 4. Tomb Raider 2. The original Tomb Raider. These games have not held up very well. Siphon Filter, no manual though. Wipeout XL. This game's pretty decent actually, pretty fun. Tomb Raider The Last Revelation, another Tomb Raider game that following along the same lines. Tomb Raider 3. A game that I found in a pawn shop which was undervalued at the time. I think this game has actually, according to price charting, gone down in value from when I picked it up, but Gallop Racer, and I think I picked this up for like $3 or something, and it's probably worth about 10 or 15. Spyro, Year of the Dragon. A little bit of chewed up manual type thing on the corner there. And the Spyro the Dragon. Tecmo's Deception. I'm still looking for Tecmo Deception 3. It's one of my favorite games for the PlayStation. Just it's kind of hard to come by, unfortunately. But if I do find it, I'm definitely going to pop it in the system. Here's the original one though, pretty cool. Medal of Honor Underground. I remember trying to play these back in the day. Kind of difficult to play, especially in relation to like PC games back then. Need for Speed High Stakes. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 3. Or rather, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 3. Whatever. Tyco RC Assault with a Battery. I liked RC games. Pretty fun. Moving on to Colony Wars. Pretty cool right there. Enter Electro, Spider-Man 2. I've heard mixed reviews on that as well. Die Hard Trilogy. Pretty fun, actually. Very cheap game to buy too. Crash Team Racing. Madden 2003. Game I think is probably one of my very favorite for the system, if not my favorite game for the system. Final Fantasy Tactics. I can still play this to no end now. Final Fantasy Anthology Collectors Package, which has Final Fantasy V and Final Fantasy VI on it. Pretty cool right there. This one here is one of the re-releases, though. The way you know that is they still sell this game actually to this day, and the way you know that is it doesn't have the black backing on it, but still cool nonetheless. A game with no manual. Disney's Atlantis. This came in one of the original lots that I picked up off a guy. 102 Dalmatians, Puppies to the Rescue. Don't know if I'll ever play that. PlayStation Underground jam-packed with demos in it. The reason why I picked up this demo was it had a demo of Tomba in it, which is a really hard game to get your hands on kind of thing, so thought I would do that. Just pick that one up so I could check out at least the demo. C12 Final Resistance. Don't know a whole lot about it. I did watch some gameplay footage of it. Seems kind of interesting. And then the very last game that I have in this pile here is F1 2000. So that's my PlayStation collection right there. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed taking a look at my PlayStation 1 collection. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do feel free to thumbs up this video. Thanks again for watching, and also remember to comment down below, and I will see you all later.